Uh, Mr. Kelly, when you're ready, just give me the thumbs up and we'll get started. Thank you. Good afternoon. We will formally open this meeting of the Illinois Board of Review for today, Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. Everyone has been muted just for efficiency's sake so that we can block any distracting background noises. And so what I'd ask, though, is if when your matter is called, if it's noted as moot or moot complied, if you don't understand what that represents, please call the administrator. But in general, it means that your matter is dismissed for today. There's no further work to be done, and you are free to go. So, but if you need more explanation as to what moot or moot compliant means, please call the administrator, and someone on staff will give you a much more detailed response. I'd ask you to pay close attention so that if you hear your address or your name called, that you're prepared to respond. Again, this is a formal hearing, so we expect that everyone would prepare themselves to act accordingly, be dressed accordingly, no sleeping, no lying down, no eating, and all that stuff. This is a formal proceeding as if you were in a courtroom. Thank you so much for your appearance today and your participation. The board and the other panelists will introduce themselves, after which we will hear from the city of Philadelphia for any general list of cases that have been resolved, or if there are requests for continuances or matters have been withdrawn. Again, I'm Kenneth Woodson, board chair.
Ralph Pincus, board member.
Steve Pettit, board member.
Roger S. Tennant, senior board member.
Beverly Penn, board member.
Ken Washington, board member.
Cortez Patton, board member.
Brian McSherry, board counsel.
Richard Wade, board administrator.
Thank you very much. Okay, who's representing the city today with the general list of matters that have been resolved?
Good morning, board members. This is Michael Rullo, R-U-L-L-O, on behalf of the city.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rullo. What do you have for us today?
Okay, just 1 second. Laptop is running a bit slow. Okay, beginning with number 1, appeal ending 002236, 6123 West Passyunk Avenue. The appellant is a Jacqueline Dispenza. That can be marked moot.
Moot? Okay, thank you.
Moving to number 2, appeal ending 004669 concerning 4021 Baldwin Park Road, a Judy Haste. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Moving to number 3, appeal ending 004700 1624 South Conestoga Street. Appellant is a William Perdue. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Moving to number 5, appeal ending 004589, a 4228 West Girard Avenue. Appellant is Donna Bacella. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 6, 004616, 1726 Memorial Avenue. Appellant Pauline Coleman. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Moving to number 7, appeal ending 004738, 1001 South Chadwick Street. Appellant is Jason Cohen. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Moving to number 9, appeal ending 004535, 13057 Bustleton Avenue. Appellant George Mullen. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Moving to number 10, appeal ending 004617 concerning 2439 North 19th Street. Appellant Mark Roche can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 11, appeal ending 003690 1304 Crease Street. Appellant is a Brooke Reader. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 13, appeal ending 004670 2544 Turner Street. Appellant is a Daniel Wu. That can be marked, I believe that has been withdrawn by the owner.
Withdrawn. Okay, thank you.
Moving to number 14, appeal ending 004637 904 North 16th Street, apartment 3F. Appellant is a Haron Levy. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Moving to number 15, appeal ending 004-689, 2763 North Reese Street. Appellant is a Farouk El Hadidi. I'll spell that last name ELHADIDY. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 17, appeal ending 004-522, 4433 Wayne Avenue. Appellant is a Store Space QR Philadelphia LP. That can be marked moot complied.
Moot complied. Thank you.
Moving to number 20, appeal ending 004-708 concerning 5448 Webster Street. Appellant is Your Dream Home LLC. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 22, appeal ending 004-695, 1535 Deal Street. Appellant is a Frankfurt Creek Studios LLC. That can be marked moot complied.
Moot complied. Thank you.
Number 23, appeal ending 004-696 concerning 1537 to 39 Deal Street. Appellant is Frankfurt Creek Studios LLC. That can be marked moot complied.
Moot complied. Thank you.
Number 25, appeal ending 004-585. I'm going to read number 25 and number 26 together. 25 is 004-585. 26 is 004-584. Both concern 5537 Walnut Street and appellant Denise Williams. Both of those matters can be marked moot complied.
Moot complied. Thank you.
Moving to number 28, appeal ending 004-545, 4005 Brown Street. Appellant is a Lee Gao. That can be marked moot complied.
Moot complied. Thank you.
Moving to number 30, appeal ending 004-664, 8046 Frankfurt Avenue. Appellant is a John Cambridge. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 31, 004-644, 4302 Market Street. Appellant is an Asaf Kershaw. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Moving to number 33, appeal ending 004-672, 700 Chestnut Street. Appellant is 700 Chestnut Street Association. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 34, appeal ending 004-553 concerning 1617 Roomfort Road. The appellant is a Kwame Fitzpatrick. That can be marked moot.
Moot. Thank you.
Number 37, appeal ending 004-690, 3948 Poplar Street. Appellant Joseph Johnson. That can be marked moot.
Moot.
And finally, number 39, appeal ending 004-639, 2875 East Schiller Street. Appellant is Philadelphia Rubber Waste Co. That can be marked moot.
Moot.
I
Thank you.
believe that some of my colleagues have either continuances or settlements to address, so I will default to them.
Okay. Who's?
Excuse me, Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
just real quick. On number 40, that's just mute, not an agreement.
Number 40, there's a settlement that has to be read into the record. We will get to that
Well,
one. in a
it
few
just
moments.
says it's mute now.
No, he was referencing number 39.
Could you be clear on that for me, just to be sure? I thought he said 40.
Mr. Rulo, it was 39 that was moot.
Yes, I can read that into the record, but I said 39 concerning Philadelphia Rubber Waste Co. Was marked moot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Alrighty, let's start left to right. My left to right. Will Fernandez.
Thank you, Chairman. Regarding case number 29 on the list, appeal ending in 4714, appellant 916 South 48th Street, LLC, and 916 South 48th Street as the subject address. The appellant's counsel requested a continuance in this case due to unavailability. I think it might have already been considered and decided upon in the executive meeting, but I wanted to check in on that.
Yes, it was noted in executive committee, and we're just waiting to get the city's response.
Yes, I had indicated to council that I was not opposed to the continuance request. He explained to me that he is genuinely unavailable for the hearing.
Okay, so that matter will be continued.
Thank you. And next and last case on my list for now, number 36 on the list, appeal number ending in 3591, address 8575 Torresdale Avenue, appellant Joe Smith, represented by Sean Ward. Mr. Ward also submitted a continuance request. I won't get into the reason for that, but I guess I'll call it also lawyer unavailability. I think he maybe provided some more information in his request to the board that I don't want to necessarily make public in this forum. Was that request?
No, that wasn't raised in executive committee. So is the city proposing that request?
There, I also spoke to the attorney, and I guess I will somewhat generically say that he's unavailable due to a medical issue, and so I didn't oppose that request either, even though it came in pretty late. It looks like yesterday around noon he emailed board administration.
Okay, so we'll note it as continued.
Thank you very much. And that concludes my matters for now.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Christopher Johnson.
Good afternoon, distinguished and honorable members of the board. I want to turn your attention to appeal number 32 on the list.
Okay.
It's HA 2022-004671 regarding 3110 Aramingo Avenue of the appeal of Claudio Bailes. I spoke to attorney Henry Clinton yesterday about the case and agreed that there would be an agreement on this appeal that it would be marked city affirmed with a 90-day stay of enforcement.
Okay, city affirmed 90-day stay of enforcement. Okay. Alrighty. And so that's a settlement offer here. And Mr. Pincus, you put your matter on the record, please.
I'm going to recuse myself from this matter because of my relationship with Mr. Clinton.
Okay, thank you very much. We will now poll the board regarding HA-2022-004671, 3110 Aramingo Avenue, Claudio Bailes, city affirmed as per agreement, 90-day stay of enforcement.
City affirmed per the agreement with a 90-day stay of enforcement.
City affirmed per the agreement with a 90-day stay of enforcement.
City affirmed per agreement with 90-day stay of enforcement.
City affirmed per agreement with a 90-day stay of enforcement.
City affirmed per agreement, 90-day stay of enforcement.
All right, thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Caroline Curley.
Good afternoon, board. I am referencing appeal number 16. It's HA 2022-004622 for 4100 Orchard Lane. I believe this was also a continuance request requested by appellant's counsel. The city has no objection to that request. So
We did not review that matter in executive session, but we will note it as continued.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, should we raise with council the issue we discussed of standing, or should we wait till that gets?
We're aware of that. And Mr. Whalen, who represents Mr. O'Neill, is not here, or council member O'Neill, I should say. He's not here, so I don't want to discuss anything without Mr. Whalen being present, but he is genuinely unavailable for today.
Okay.
We didn't know he has counsel.
Council member O'Neill does have counsel, yes.
Okay. That was not noted in on the records that we have. So just make sure that person's please entered his appearance.
Yes, Mr. Whalen sent an email to the board, I believe on, just one moment. Sometime around the 17th, I believe,
Okay. All
or the
right, thank
15th. The 15th. I'm sorry.
Okay,
He sent an email to the board, so yes, it's Mr. Sean Whalen.
okay. We'll note it as continued. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Skiles.
Yes, good afternoon. I am representing the city on matter number 40. That's HA 2023-004164 at 1301 West Moyamensing Avenue. The appellant is Michael Powells. We have come to an agreement to resolve this matter, and the agreement is for a city affirm with a 30-day stay of enforcement.
Okay, 30-day stay.
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right, thank you. We will poll the board on HA-2023-004164, 1301 West Moyamensing Avenue. Michael Powells, city affirmed per agreement with a 30-day stay of enforcement.
Mr.
City
Chair,
affirmed 30-day stay of enforcement per agreement.
City affirmed per the agreement with a 30-day stay of enforcement.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, sir.
I was trying to get your attention. This is the one that we spoke about. Are we still going to vote on it in the executive meeting?
No, we didn't. This wasn't the one we discussed. A different matter.
A different Moyamensing. That's okay. I'm checking my records now. All right. City affirm with 30-day stay per agreement.
City affirm 30-day stay of agreement City affirm 30-day stay of enforcement per agreement.
Thank you.
City affirmed per agreement, 30-day stay of enforcement.
City affirmed per agreement, 30-day stay of enforcement.
Thank you very much. Okay. Ms. Reinhardt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And good afternoon, members of the board. For number 8, this is HA 2022-003734 regarding 90 Red Lion Road, filed by a, I am going to spell this name respectfully, K-A-K-H-A-B-E-R-I, and then last name C-H-U-D-I-N-I-D-Z-E. I have been in contact with someone who has represented, they are the attorney for the appellant. My understanding, though, is that this was not on the board's records previously. Mr. Sean Ward says that he represents the appellant. He also submitted a continuance request to the board directly, and his unavailability is the same as Mr. Fernandez from my office stated previously on an earlier case.
Okay, we'll note that matter is continued.
Thank you. I would like to ask, though, if, since this is the second continuance request, if next time that it is listed, it may be marked as must be tried.
Okay, do you know if the first request was from the appellant?
First request was continued for council.
For council? Okay, so let's note then that the next hearing is it must be heard, must be tried.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
If I may, Mr. Chair, could someone notify Mr. Ward of that determination so he understands and is prepared?
I see the appellate on the phone. The appellate is on the phone.
Okay.
Okay, but that Ms. Reinhardt, you were prepared to respond?
Yes, I heard another noise and did not want to interrupt. I can let him know as well.
Okay, thank you. But so, Mr. Washington, appreciate that. So, well, hopefully everybody will know that he has to deal with it the next time. Thank you. Okay. Anything else, Ms. Reinhardt? Okay.
Nothing further.
Okay, Ms. Leonard Rauder.
Hi, good afternoon, members of the board. Leonard F. Reuter, senior attorney for the city of Philadelphia. I'm just raising the issue of the matters related to 325 South 18th Street.
Which number is that?
Unfortunately, I don't. I'd have,
18 and 19.
I think
18,
there's actually there should be three. I think there's three appeals. But let me just double check.
We have two that are noted on our schedule
And
today, 18 and 19.
We have a case number 27 as well, but that's a different representation. The appellant, it's a different appellant.
Okay.
But okay, I'm not sure I know about that one, but I thought they were all.
That one's Mike McElhenney is the.
Okay,
attorney on
yeah,
that.
I see. Yes, okay. So as you're aware, Ms. Adams has requested a continuance. She is a representative of the title owner, who I actually, or a person related to the company that owns it, is actually here, but I believe Ms. Adams said that she was not able to be here. I think Mr. Rufo is the person in question. I also see Mike McElhaney, who is the appellant for the conservator, and presumably he filed the appeal from the prior violation, which he's going to argue, I guess, is moot, which presumably Ms. Adams, well, she is in fact challenging that. And then, right. So we also have Paul Toner, also representing the conservator, who is here. And my understanding is that Ms. Adams sought a today, but also for whatever reasons that haven't been explained, not able to represent Mr. Rufo or his company going forward in these appeals. It's a little unclear to me. So the city of Philadelphia is not opposing the continuance requests.
Okay.
But
so if we grant the continuance request for 18 and 19, what does that do to the matter in number 27?
Well, I think the city would agree, I believe, that the specific violation that was raised or that was appealed in that case, I believe, has been corrected and should be marked moot. However, again, Ms. Adams is challenging any determination of mootness on that case. I don't know if you
want to
know what's going on here and what the history of this case is. I can say it goes back about 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. But if she's not here to argue the matter, then it can't be put on the record. So the issue is if Mr. McElhaney at present and the city are saying this number 27 is moot, we'll just mark it as moot. And then if she wants to raise something in her case, then she can do that, or whoever substitutes for her.
Right. And I would also ask if there is anybody out in TV land now that is in fact going to take over for Ms. Adams. Again, we've not received any name or any information about what's actually going on with her representation. So I don't know. It seems somewhat unclear if she was sending somebody today or not.
Okay, so let's do that then. Is anyone present who's here to represent Olivia Adams, Esquire, in regard to 325 South 18th Street?
Yeah, I'm Tony Rufo. Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you an attorney, sir?
No, I'm the owner of 325 South 18th Street.
So you can't, in this matter, we need an attorney to represent your interests. So is there another attorney who's been hired to replace Miss Olivia Adams?
Not yet. That's why I asked for the continuance on all three.
Okay.
That would be 18, 19, and 27.
Okay. See, the problem, though, in 27, you are not listed. You are not identified as a interested party. So at this point,
so what was identified? The 325.
No. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We're dealing with 18 and 19 at the moment, and so the request is that those two cases be continued. So we'll note those as continued. Okay.
Okay.
Because Miss Adams is not present, and we'll get to 27 in a moment.
Mr. Chairman, should we clarify whether there are two cases or one case? Because the numbers for the cases are the same on our hearing list.
Not to
Well,
interrupt, I think there's three
no, no.
cases.
Yeah, yes, sir. Don't interrupt because that's what you just did. Don't do that. Let us work it out. There may be 3 separate violations that are being dealt with. And so the matters that are referenced in our file are all 3 different HA cases.
Mr.
Fine.
Chair, if I may,
Okay.
the case numbers for 18 and 19 are exactly, the case files are exactly the same, 063.
Yes. So
Except for number 27 is different.
Except for number 27, that's correct.
So if I believe that, so with respect to the appeals that were taken by Ms. Adams on behalf of 325 South 18th Street LLC, which I understand is Mr. Rufo's company, it is an appeal from the Historical Commission's approval of a permit, and then I believe an appeal from the actual permit itself. So that's why they both have the same permit number. So one is the appeal from the approval of the Historical Commission, which the city believes is untimely. And then the other is the appeal from the actual issuance of that permit. The case that Mr. McElhaney has filed is separate from that. That is an appeal from an unsafe violation that had been previously issued that has been marked complied, and Ms. Adams and on behalf of her client is arguing that it should not have been marked complied.
Okay, so let's do this.
And Mr. Toner has his hand raised. He represents, and just so you know, the property is under a conservatorship. So we recognize that Mr. Rufo's company is the actual owner of the property. However, through various court orders, the conservator is in control of is in legal control of the property. So,
Okay. So to keep the record clear, 18 and 19 have now been noted as continued. So that matter is settled and set aside. Okay. So let's not bring those 2 up again. Mr. Toner, you have a comment regarding, please put your name on the record, please. Unmute.
Yes, Paul Toner. I'm counsel for the Philadelphia Community Development Coalition on the 2 matters that were consolidated at HA-2023-001035. These were both appeals that were instituted.
Now, Mr. Toner, you noted that they're now continued, so we're not going to hear anything else on those.
Yeah,
correct?
and PCDC just would like to object to any continuance. This case has scores of meritless appeals and matters that have all been resolved in favor of PCDC.
Okay, now you have to note, Mr. Toner, please note your standing in regard to this matter.
So Philadelphia Community Development Coalition has been appointed as conservator of 325 South 18th Street by order of the Honorable Nina Padilla. It's been overseen by Judge Kenneth Powell, the Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas from 2007 to 2023. As a Act 135 conservator under Section 6 of Act 135, the court-appointed conservator has legal authority to take all actions of an owner of real property, including appearing before a board like this involving appeals from L&I provisions.
Okay, so in this instance, though, 18 and 19, given that counsel for the appellant is not present and they had asked for time to substitute counsel, we've noted that it's continued. Your concerns are noted, but we've noted this matter is continued.
So, and again, just with respect
I don't want
to
to
that,
keep. No. I don't want to keep going over that matter. Let's go to 27. Now let's move on to 27. So I think we resolved.
I just want the board to make sure that Mr. Toner is included. The city does not object to their intervention. We believe they're a necessary party in those appeals, and they should receive any future notices of hearings.
So
That's
noted.
all.
So, Mr. Toner, if you put your appearance on the record, then you will should receive any future correspondence regarding hearings.
Thank
and
you.
you will be allowed to represent the interests of the Philadelphia Community Development Corporation. Okay.
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Who is Mr. McElhaney representing?
McElhaney is representing the Philadelphia Community Development Corporation, I believe, as the appellant at number 27. And so let's move on to that matter.
Okay.
Who's representing the city in that matter? Is that you, Mr. Ryder? I'm
Yes,
not
it
sure.
is.
Yeah. Okay. And so you're suggesting that that matter is should be noted as moot. What's the city's position here?
Yes, it's the city's understanding that that violation was complied.
Okay. So
But-
that's moot comply.
Correct. But again, just for the record, I believe Ms. Adams is intervening in that case to argue that it shouldn't be complied. Again, we're
Okay.
happy to get rid of it, but just making
Let's
sure the
note it for
record's
today's
clear.
for today's record. It's noted as moot complied. Is Mr. Michael McElhenney present, or anyone representing the office?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Michael
Yes.
McElhenney on behalf of PCDC. I filed the appeal of violation CF 2022-111012, which related to conditions of a chimney at 325 South 18th Street. My client, the court-appointed conservator, obtained a permit to make repairs to the chimney. Those repairs were made months ago. I believe they were finished and the permit was closed out back in May of 2023.
Okay.
And it's our position that the violation is now, this issue is moot. The violation has been complied. There's no issue for this board to address.
Okay. It's noted as moot complied. Thank you very much. No, sir, Mr. Rufo. No additional comments. No. Okay. Anyone else from the law department? I think we have Mr. Begelman.
Yes, good afternoon. I just have one agreement to read into the record. That's case number 4 on the list, appeal number HA-2022-004697 concerning 19 North Edgewood Street. The appellant is a Nahama Satati. And we reached an agreement that was emailed to the board, I believe, yesterday. We agreed the appeal be marked city affirm with a reduced fine of $500.
Okay, $500.
I do not believe the appellant is present, but she was copied on the email to the board yesterday with that agreement.
Okay, thank you. I will poll the board on HA-2022-004697, 19 North Edgewood Street, Nahama Satate, SATATY, city affirmed per agreement, $500 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $500 fine.
City affirmed per the agreement with a $500 fine.
City affirmed per the agreement with a $500 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $500 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $500 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $500 fine.
Thank you very much. Okay, do we have anyone else from the city with any preliminary matters to be reviewed? If not, I do have a question for the city who's representing number 35, HA-2022-004683, 536 East Penn Street. And that's Raymond and Margot Weems.
Good afternoon, Chairman Will Fernandez representing the city in that matter.
Okay, thank you. I know Mr. and Mrs. Weems, are they present?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay. Mr. Weems, yeah, the only matter here is that we noted there's a slight timeliness matter, 2 days over the 30-day limit, but within the board's discretion, we will hear that matter today.
Mr. Chairman, I understand the board has the discretion.
Yes.
I would like also to point out that the appellants here, Raymond and Margot Weems, are not the party cited by the notice of violation.
Oh, so it was a standing issue.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Let's
ahead.
bring them on the record. Let's put them on the record and find out what's going on then. Mr. and Mrs. Weems, are you present? Mr. Raymond and Margot Weems, are you present? I thought I heard.
Present. Ms. Weems is present, Mr. Chairman. She is muted.
Okay.
And she's blurry. She's very blurry.
Okay. Ms. Weems, if you can unmute yourself.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, while I have a moment while Ms. Weems unmutes herself.
Yes.
I said before, I understand that the board has the discretion. I just wish to clarify that I did not mean for that to be any sort of waiver or dismissal of our right to potentially appeal on those grounds.
Yes.
But with that said, I completely understand your decision today. that you
Yes. Yeah, I assumed you had a standing objection.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Margot Weems?
Yes, this is she. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but
Your Honor?
I cannot see you. So if you could adjust your screen to move from in front of the window, that background light is completely obliterating your image.
Is that better, sir?
That's a lot better. And now what about Mr. Raymond Weems? Is he present also?
He is deceased.
Oh, he is
No,
deceased.
he is deceased.
Okay, now tell me what is your connection with 536 East Penn Street? Oh, well, before you do that, would you raise before you do that, raise your right hand so you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony today will be the truth to help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Now, would you mind explaining your connection with 536 East Penn Street?
Yes, the house belonged to my father. He is deceased. Some family members.
Okay, your father's Raymond Weems?
Yes, Raymond Weems.
Okay, is your name on the deed now?
No, it is not. I had applied for a tangled deed because I have siblings, and the will, we never discovered the will, so we don't know exactly who owns the house, but I've been paying the taxes on it and attempting to pay the water bill on it so that the family doesn't lose the house. But I have 3 other siblings who are attached to this house.
Okay, so that presents a problem for today. And I believe, Mr. Fernandez, you probably would agree with me that you don't have standing to bring this appeal because you are not the owner of record, and so that's the problem.
I did go down to City Hall to attempt to get the home put into my name, and
but
they
until that's
refused to do that.
until that's done, you don't have standing to bring the appeal. Mr. Fernandez, what is your position here?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would agree entirely with you that there is a standing issue that should prevent the hearing from going forward today, even though Ms. Weems may be helping maintain or maintaining the property. I don't believe, based on her appeal form, that she resides there. And given that there are siblings who may or likely have some claim to the property, hearing this case today would be counterproductive because with the with the deceased property owner, it's all potentially moot anyways. And so I would urge Ms. Weems to proceed to make efforts to untangle the title as swiftly as possible and get it into new owners' names so that the city can reissue the violations or take whatever actions it determines are necessary at that time.
Okay, Mr. Fernandez, would it help if she informed L&I that Mr. Raymond Weems is deceased?
It would likely help because we would, we may ask, even though she's on the record and under oath, we may ask for some documentation, a death certificate or something, but we'd likely not proceed on the notice of violation once we were satisfied of that fact.
Okay, so Ms. Weems, what that means is that you should collect whatever information you have regarding your father's death and share that with the L&I inspection unit that contacted the house and let them know that, so they may change the status of that violation. In the interim, I would recommend that you and your siblings do everything you can to untangle the title and get it entitled in one person's name, or put everybody's name on it, as long as whatever you guys agree to do. But you're going to have problems with these kinds of matters until that's done. Understood? Okay. So we aren't going to hear the case today.
So I shouldn't make if there's necessary repairs on the house, or?
Well, I'm not suggesting that at all. I'm not your attorney. I can't give you advice. We can't do that. You'll need to consult an attorney as to how best to approach that because you have a tangled title. But for today's matter, we're going to continue this. And Mr. Fernandez, hopefully by the time it comes up again, the city will have gotten notice of the death of Mr. Weems and will have decided whether to pursue this or not.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And if I may add before we move on past this matter, I would ask that Ms. Weems absolutely still make the repairs if she can, because the violative conditions still exist and would eventually be prosecuted against her and any other owner of the property once that happens. So if they can be taken care of in advance, that would be to everyone's benefit.
Okay, ma'am, you understand?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay, thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
You
Okay.
as well. You all as
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have anything before we go to the list? I believe that's it. Okay, Mr. Wade, why don't we start? We're at the top. I think
There was
it's 12.
there was one request to be heard, case number 24.
24?
For
Okay.
inspector's availability. I believe it's a Michael Rulo case.
Okay, let's go to that one then. Okay.
This is case number 24, hearing appeal HA 2022-004651, 4135 Paris Street, Angela DePrima Bucci.
This is Michael Rulo, RULLO, on behalf of the city of Philadelphia.
Okay, good afternoon. Is Angela Prima de Bucci?
Yes,
Madam?
I'm here.
Okay. Would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. You can place your any witnesses today?
I do. I have, excuse me, one second. I believe I have Inspector Anthony Martin on this case.
Anthony Martin? Okay. Mr. Martin, are you, I don't think I see him yet.
I think it was Brett McDonald.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, it was Inspector Brett McDonald. I mixed up my two cases.
Okay. I don't see that individual either.
I believe he's on.
I'm here.
Okay. Mr. McDonald, we can't see your full face, so if you could adjust your screen and remove your hat. Thank you. We raise your right hand, sir, so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. You can proceed, Mr. Rulo.
Thank you. And just as a short preview, board members, this case concerns a site violation notice that the department issued for trash exterior area sanitation that had accumulated towards the front of this property. And the city had issued a statutory fine consistent with that site violation notice of $300. And we'll be asking that this be marked as a city affirm. With that, I will turn to Inspector McDonald. Inspector McDonald, can you explain what your position is with the Department of Licenses and Inspections?
Well, that's well. Housing inspector, code enforcement.
And as part of that, what are some of your responsibilities?
Just stop by properties to do inspections on violations that's against the code.
Okay. And with the board's permission, I'd like to share my screen.
Yes, please.
And Inspector McDonald, can you see what's been preliminarily marked as City Exhibit A on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm moving down to the second page of this document. What is this document?
This is a site violation notice.
Okay, I'm going to zoom in. Oops, too much. And what property does this concern?
4135 Paris Street.
And what's the date of the notice?
10/27/22.
And are you familiar with this property?
Yes.
And have you conducted an inspection of this property?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to move down now to this, what has been preliminarily marked as City Exhibit B. Can you see this, what's displayed on the screen here?
Yes.
Okay. And can you describe what's shown in this photo?
Thank you.
It's about 5 trash bags and a tire.
And this is the condition that you identified when you initially inspected the property, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so this is the origin of that exterior area sanitation violation?
Yes.
And just to confirm, this is the property that was cited, correct?
Yes.
That violation has now been marked complied, though, correct?
Yes.
But this was a site violation notice, so the fine for that remains outstanding, correct?
Yes.
And that has not been paid yet, correct?
Yes.
That does it for my questions for Inspector McDonald.
Okay. Ms. Bucci, do you have any cross-examination questions for Mr. McDonald?
Hello, Mr. McDonald. I guess one question I have is that, in this area of West Philly where this property is located, everyone keeps their trash behind that gate. And when you say that it was at the front of the property where I assume that the front of the property is at the curb. So I'm kind of confused by just the language of what you mean the front, what that means, the front of the property.
Well, the front of the property is, like even though it's inside the gate, it's still considered the front of the property. It's on property line.
Okay. So yeah, that's my only, I didn't understand what that meant. So, just so that I can explain, I don't live at this property. This property is
Okay, Ms. Bucci, wait.
Yes.
You can
Okay.
give testimony in a moment. We just wanted to
Okay.
make sure
I'm
that
sorry.
you had a chance to cross-examine a witness. Mr. Rulo, do you have any additional witnesses?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Bucci, it's your turn to tell us what you understand about what happened.
Yes. So as I was saying, I don't live at the property, and it's a property that I now have a building permit on, and we're gonna, start to work on it at some time in the near future. So we do drive by that property from time to time, and we, pull the weeds because I know that you can get a ticket for that. And but that tire and some of those trash bags are not mine. One of them could have been mine from pulling the weeds, and maybe I didn't bring it back into the house. I'm not sure. It was a long time, ago now. And also the other issue is that at around that time, as I stated on my my appeal application, I didn't have a vehicle because I got my catalytic converter stolen, so I wasn't able to get around as much as I could before, and it just took like 5 weeks to get it back. But as soon as we found out about this violation, we took care of it as quickly as possible. And I understand now that I can't leave anything out there at all. And again, I think that maybe one of those bags may have been mine, but they were not all mine. Also, we have a dump truck, and because of our business, so we would never leave a tire like that. Just would never not happen. Somebody dumped that tire there. And so I'm just asking for, I guess, some relief from that, what I consider a very large fine, just based on the different things that, I just mentioned. And also during that time, we were having some medical issues that we had to contend with. But that all being said, we did the best we could with what we had. And that's all I want to say. And thank you for listening.
Ms. Bucci, a few questions.
Yes.
Are you a resident of Philadelphia?
Am I a resident?
Yes.
Yes, I am a resident.
Okay. And the property in question, is it vacant?
It is vacant.
Okay. You may want to buy or purchase some trash cans for trash.
Yes.
That would have helped a lot. But the violation amount, the fine amount, is a site violation, which the board doesn't have the authority to change.
Okay.
Mr. Rulo, you have anything else you'd like to add?
Just one quick question. Ma'am, do you have a vacant property license on the property?
I don't think so, because I have a building permit. I don't think I have both. I have a building permit to renovate the property.
When was the last time you think you had a vacant property license?
I don't remember offhand.
Okay. And you obtained that building permit though earlier this year, correct?
I did, yes.
That does it for my questions.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Okay. All right. If there aren't no additional questions, we will then poll the board on HA-2022-004651. Angela D. Prima Bucci, City Affirm.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed. City affirmed.
Thank you very much. Ma'am, unanimous vote, city affirmed, which means you've lost your appeal. Now you can appeal our decision. And if you need information as to how to do that, check in with the administrator's office and they can give you information that you need if you want to appeal. Thank you very much for your participation today. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Wade, what do we have? Mr. Rulo, your inspector may he's dismissed. He can move on if he needs to.
I am not sure if Inspector McDonald is here for any other cases.
Okay.
I would default to my colleagues if he is needed on any other cases today.
Case number 12, hearing appeal HA 2022-004579, 5739 Cherry Street, Kenneth Bentley.
Okay, who's representing the city?
Good afternoon, board members. This is Michael Rouleau again on behalf of the city.
Okay. We have an attorney listed, Mr. Corey Leon. Are you present? Mr. Corey Leon Esquire. What about Mr. Kenneth Bentley? Anyone present representing the interests of 5739 Cherry Street? If you muted, use the raised hand option if you can't unmute. Mr. Rouleau, no one's responding. What is your preference?
I would just like to note for the record that my colleague, Michelle Reinhardt, did email the board earlier, attach the exhibits and include counsel, I believe it is Mr. Corey Leon on that email. There was no response from Mr. Leon to that email. As the board members have pointed out, neither he nor the appellant are present. And I am unaware of any prior continuance request. Given that, the city would ask that this be marked a city affirmed for failure to appear.
Okay, Mr. Pinkett.
Service was made to both appellant and attorney.
Thank you. Mr. Pincus, what time do you have?
2:33 p.m.
2:33 p.m. Okay, we will poll the board regarding HA-2022-004579, 5739 Cherry Street, Kenneth Bentley, city affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed for non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Wade, what do we have next?
Case number 21, hearing appeal HA 2022-004709, 6717 Chester Ave, Ali Bashir.
Okay, who's representing the city?
This is Michael Rouleau again on behalf of the city of Philadelphia.
Okay, thank you. Ali Bashir, anyone representing that address at 6717 Chester Avenue?
No, I'm here.
Okay, sir, are you Ali Bashir?
Yes, I am.
Okay, would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Sir, before we move on, is your name the only name on the deed to this property?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. All righty. Mr. Rouleau, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, I do. I have Inspector Martin.
Okay. Inspector Martin. I don't see Inspector Martin. Someone may need to contact him.
You could just give me 1 second, board members.
Excuse me, is this Anthony Martin?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Rouleau, you want me to pass this and move on and come back?
Yes, why don't we put this on hold for now?
Mr. Bashir, just take a moment. We need to.
Excuse me, sir.
No. You're speaking. I'm speaking. While
Okay.
I'm speaking, then you get an opportunity. Because we're having difficulty connecting with the witness. We just need a few moments to come back to your case. Now, your response?
I have to pick up my kids from school and I'm already late, so I don't know. I don't know what to do, really.
Okay. All right. You can make a formal request that we continue this matter.
Yeah, I can request that. Yes.
Mr. Rouleau, what's your response to that request? He has a pressing personal matter with his children.
I believe that this is the first listing, and so under the circumstances, I won't object to the continuance.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's continue this matter, and we will give you a new hearing date, Mr. Bashir.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I would just like to note, though, that there was not a continuance request made before the hearing, and then this seems like something that should have been requested. So I just do want to note that for the record. But again, the city won't object in this instance.
So noted, and of course, your witness is not available at the moment. So understood. Mr. Wade?
I think that's brings us to the last case, case number 38. Hearing appeal HA 2022 004576 6939 Paschal Ave, Reginald Corbin.
Okay, who's representing the city? Who's representing the city? Okay, 6939 Paschal Avenue.
I apologize, Chairman. Will Fernandez for the city of Philadelphia.
Okay, and it's Reginald Corbin. Reginald Corbin or anyone else on the Zoom call who is representing the interest of 6939 Paschal Avenue.
I'm here.
He's there,
Can you hear
but his photo is tilted.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes, sir.
I'm here.
Okay. Alrighty. And your name again, sir, for the record?
Reginald B. Corbin.
Okay. Would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you. And of course, the preliminary matter, sir, is your name the only name on the deed to 6939 Paschal Avenue?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty. Mr. Fernandez, you have witness today?
Yes, Inspector Michael Herbert.
Okay. And I don't see Inspector Herbert.
Excuse me, I'm gonna represent the city because Mr. Herbert didn't come in today.
Apologies, Supervisor, or sorry, is it Director Maureen Blaney?
Supervisor Maureen Blaney.
Supervisor Maureen Blaney.
Okay. Ms. Blaney, if you'd raise your right hand so that you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. You can place your hand down. Okay, Mr. Fernandez, please proceed.
Yes, I will be sharing my screen in just a moment. I believe it should be shared now. Can somebody please confirm?
Yes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Blaney.
Excuse me. Could you just zoom in a little bit for me, please?
Of course. I'll start up here.
Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Blaney. Could you please briefly introduce yourself, state your position of employment and your employer?
Yes, my name is Maureen Blaney. I'm a code enforcement supervisor with the vacant vending unit.
Ms. Blaney, have you had opportunity to review city records related to 6939 Paschal Avenue and the violations written to that property?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I'm going to put a document on your screen right now. Please let me know if this level of Zoom is acceptable. Can you please identify the document on your screen right now?
Yes, it's a notice of violation in order to correct.
Who's it issued to?
Reginald Corbin.
What's the date of its issue?
10/8/2022.
And for what property is it written?
6939 Paschal Avenue.
Okay, what violations were written on this notice of violation?
Just get it. I'm on my phone, so I'm having trouble seeing it. I'm getting on the case. All right, we wrote them for windows and door, not have installing windows and doors, but having boards up. It says install 40 windows and 2 doors. There is for sanitation, for weeds, for to seal openings from exposure, repair the porch roof, gutters and downspouts, repair cornices, capping, molding, trimming, install handrail and guardrails on porch landings and stair exterior. And was the vacant license, but I see he has updated his vacant license.
Okay, before I go any further, the records that you're currently reviewing, can you describe where you're getting that information?
Well, I'm actually on the computer and it's in front of me.
Yeah, but
In
what,
Eclipse, in Eclipse.
Eclipse, okay. And are the
Mhm.
records in Eclipse regularly kept in the course of doing business at the Department of Licenses and Inspections?
Yes.
Okay, when was the most recent re-inspection performed at this property?
Inspector Herbert was just out there on October 18th.
Okay, and as of that October 18th re-inspection, were any of these violations marked complied?
He complied, well, it was complied by enforcement on the 12th from our clean and seal, the sanitation and weeds. And I just complied the license, but when he was out there, no, he didn't comply any of the other violations mentioned.
Okay, I'll rephrase. As of today, as of October 24th, are any of those violations that you read out earlier while going through all of the violations issued to this property, are any of those violations closed by the department? Are they no longer at issue?
Yes, the sanitation, exterior weeds, and the vacant structure license are now closed.
Okay, when you say exterior sanitation, do you mean trash and refuse around the property?
Yes.
Okay, and I think highweeds is self-explanatory.
Right,
Okay,
trash and
Supervisor
debris.
Blaney, I'm going to scroll down and show you some photographs. Are these photographs located in the city records that you are currently reviewing?
Yes, they are. They were taken on the last inspection, I believe.
Okay, well, this one I can zoom in a little bit. There's a date stamp on it. Do you have any reason to believe, based on the records you're reviewing, that this October 6th, 2022 date stamp is incorrect?
I know it's correct.
Okay, so would these be photographs from the initial inspection?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go through a few photographs. Please just let us know if any of these photographs are not contained in the city records that you're reviewing, or if you have anything you want to add about these photographs.
Mr. Fernandez, if you would just note what you're scrolling through,
of
so
course.
the court reporter
Of course.
can note the record.
Thank you,
please.
Mr. Chairman. That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling through city exhibits page 9, city exhibits page 10, city exhibits page 11, city exhibits page 12, and I'm going to pause there and then ask another question of Ms. Blaney. But the photographs that Ms. Blaney just had the opportunity to either refute if they are not accurately represented in the city records, or otherwise to comment on, were city exhibits page 9 through 12 in the city's exhibit evidence packet. Okay, Ms. Blaney, I'm now turning to Exhibit C, which is titled October 18th, 2023 photographs. This photograph here, do you recognize it?
Yes.
Can you
Just took
identify
that.
what it is?
It's a picture of the house he took on his most recent inspection on the 18th.
Okay, I'm looking at city exhibits page 14. Supervisor Blaney, I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. If any of the photographs that I'm about to scroll and talk through, if any of them are not accurately reflected in the city records, or if you have any commentary you want to add on them one way or the other, please jump in and do so. So we're currently looking at city exhibits page 14. I'm going to scroll down now to city exhibits page 15. I'm going to scroll down now. Oh, that's the end of it. There's just the two photographs.
Yes.
Supervisor Blaney, do you have any reason to believe that the status of this property has changed, specifically with respect to the violations, since October 18th, last week?
No.
Okay, and do the photographs that you've seen both in the city records that you reviewed and during the presentation today, are those consistent with the violations that were issued and are under appeal today?
Yes.
Okay, I have no further questions for Supervisor Blaney.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Corbett, do you have any cross-examination of Inspector Blaney, Supervisor Blaney?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay, what are your questions, sir?
I would like to know, or I would like to say that
No, wait. No, sir, this is your time to ask a question of her, but you have a moment after this to present your case, but in a moment, you're asking her a question based on her testimony.
Okay. The question I would like to ask, in that first picture, you showed those trees on my grass. Where did those trees come from?
I'll share the evidence packet again. Give me just one moment.
Okay, cool.
No, that
Mr. Corbin,
the
the very first photograph, this one?
right there. Where did those trees come from?
I wouldn't know where the trees come from.
Okay, if you allow me to say so, sir.
No, you can present that information later if you have information. But for the moment, your question to her was the source of the trees. Her response, she doesn't know. You have any other questions?
No, not at the present moment.
Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have any additional witnesses?
No further witnesses for the city, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, all right, Mr. Corbin, is your opportunity now to tell us your understanding of what's happening with that property.
Okay, if you can go back to that picture or just review that picture again. There's another property that's right next door. That's where they cut down those trees. That's where I'm getting a lot of my violations from that property next door. They're not my property. I really tried to maintain that property and keep the grass cut.
Okay.
Even down to last Friday, I was over there cutting the grass. There's always people. It's at 70th and Pascal. There's always illegal dumping, all kinds of crazy stuff going on over there. And I am on the 12th district watch list, but as you can see from that last picture, somebody just came and graffitied my wall. That happened in the last week.
All right, court. Okay. All right. Mr. Court, have you taken legal action against your neighbors?
I have tried to look up the neighbors, but I can't find them, to be quite honest.
Okay.
To be
All
quite honest, and I had another violation from L&I that I think just got closed out for seal and cleaning, but it was really next door. It wasn't my property.
Okay. Well, if you feel you've gotten a violation unfairly, then you should appeal that violation.
I will do so, sir.
Okay. Now, the other matters on the violation goes to the windows and doors and other things. Is that,
Well,
are you planning, let me finish. Are you planning to renovate this property?
Yes, I am planning to renovate the property, but the problem is there are always people trying to break in and squat. So yes, I did seal the property up. There are windows behind the property or behind the boards, but I can't continue to try to get squatters out of my property.
Not set up for this. I'm going to print it out, then I'm leaving.
Okay, somebody speaking in okay, thank you. Well, Mr. Corbin, have you pulled your building permits yet and started construction?
Yes, I did pull I just got a permit for the city wanted me to get a make safe permit. I did the make safe permit. I did everything that everybody asking me to do. I'm trying to be compliant. I'm paying my taxes. I'm paying a water bill. I'm paying everything that I can possibly do to keep this property.
Okay, I guess the other point though, and you need to be super aggressive in terms of getting it renovated so you don't have people squatting the property. When do you plan to start construction?
I already went and got an architecture to come out. I had to do that in order to get the make safe.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't make $1 million a year, sir.
How long have you owned
the best.
How long have you owned the property?
I bought it I think in 2017, right before Corona.
6 years ago. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean, sir, but you have to understand too. I'm a blue collar working guy. Like that's my retirement. That's how I'm trying to retire. So okay. I'm doing the best that I can. Whatever you guys throw at me, I try to be compliant with. I'm doing the best that I can with the hand that I'm dealt.
Okay. Any other questions, Mr. Fernandez? Anyone have any other questions?
No, I have no questions for Mr. Corbin, and I would just have a very brief statement to make in closing if he rests.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions for Mr. Corbin? Okay, thank you.
I have a quick question. Mr.
Yes.
Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Corbin, when you decided that you wanted to renovate this property, did you get any professionals to come and give you an evaluation and estimate of what it would cost?
At that present time, no, I was doing a lot more construction and my job description was a little different at that time. But since then, I had to change career paths and I'm still working on it and getting things done, in my opinion, a timely fashion. But, you know, it's hard for me when I got people constantly breaking in and squatting and cutting down trees. And not for nothing, I'm just saying L&I was the people who cut down those trees on the side of the property and then threw them on my side. And the next thing I know, did they clean them up? Yes, they cleaned it up after a while, but I got a fine for it. So I don't understand how that works. If you can go back into the record.
Well, may I interrupt you, Mr. Corbin, because you're now talking about some things I didn't specifically ask you about.
I'm
asking
sorry.
you if you ever got an estimate for what it would cost you to restore that property.
At the present, at the point when I bought the property, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I
Have
walked
you
through.
obtained an estimate since you purchased the property?
Yes, ma'am.
And who did you get that estimate from?
A couple of different contractors.
And when did you start a plan, since you have contractors that you've consulted? Are you planning on those contractors doing the work on the house?
Not all of them. A couple of them I am. After I dealt with the engineer or the architecture guy, but you know, yes, a few of them. I mean, when I got the architect, he drew it up, and that cost me a couple $1,000s that I didn't expect at that point.
And
So
when do you
I'm
plan
trying
begin the
to
work?
as fast as possible, ma'am. I don't want to give you a
Oh,
date.
that's really not as fast as possible. Is not really an answer, since you've
In
owned the property.
okay, that's fair.
Let me
In the
finish my
beginning of
question.
next year. Okay.
Okay. All right. I guess you've answered that. Beginning of next year. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Corbin, it appears you have a difficult situation on your hands. It is, of course, not our role to tell you how to operate your business, but it's only our role to respond to violations that are written according to city code. And so that's where we are today. The reality of it, though, a property that size will require a considerable amount of resources to renovate. And if you are not able to do it in a consistent, timely fashion, you will have continued problems with squatters and a number of other issues. So it's something to consider. The cost of an architect is a routine cost of business when you're doing what you're attempting to do. And that architect only did a make safe for you. If that architect is doing a complete design for you that you will need for your permits, it may cost more money. So that's just something for you to consider as to how you want to proceed. If there's nothing else, Mr. Fernandez, you have any closing arguments?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just briefly point out that you heard credible record custodian testimony from Supervisor Blaney. You saw the photographs. They're consistent with the violations that were issued. I don't doubt anything that Mr. Corbin said. I have no reason to think that he is saying anything that isn't true. However, he didn't refute the actual violations that are at issue before the board today. I would urge him, if he thinks that he's been unfairly fined or issued abatement bills that he shouldn't be responsible for, I would urge him to appeal those to the tax review board or to whoever may be appropriate. But the matter that is before the board today, I offer is clear cut that the violations as written in October of 2022 exist, with the exception of those violations that Supervisor Blaney pointed out have been marked resolved by the department.
No, that's not true. I've taken care of. I'm sorry,
Mr. Corbin, he was doing the final argument. That's why I asked if anyone had anything else to say. But you don't understand how this works. When
exactly.
the lawyer, so let me tell you. Let me tell you how it works. At the end of the case, the attorney and the appellant are asked to give any final comments. This is not a time for argument. It's the time for him to state his position, and you can state your position, and then we will vote. Now, you have to understand something, Mr. Corbin. You've bitten off a huge project. That is a huge project. And so I'm not sure how you're going to resolve it, but you may have other issues going forward. That's all we're saying. And he's stating what the code says. That's it. Understood? Now, I'm not asking for you to respond to him. So we aren't going to have a back and forth argument. Mr. Fernandez, do you have any further closing before we vote?
No, Mr. Chairman, that's all.
Okay, but what I will do, I'll make an exception. Mr. Corbin, if you have any closing comments you'd like to make before we vote.
Yes, the only closing comments I want to make is I've done everything that would, first of all, a lot of those things on there, you're saying the windows boarded up. There's windows behind it. What am I supposed to do? L&I is coming out boarding up other properties, but I'm supposed to take my windows off? Am I supposed to take my boards off? If you go to the 12th Police District, I've been there several times and made complaints about people squatting and breaking into my building.
Okay.
The gutters, I mean, I can put the gutters right back up there. Can I get a 30-day compliance to put the gutter back up? That's it. The rest of that stuff is not realistic.
Mr. Corbin?
There is no debris.
Mr. Corbin, what I would recommend you do is take a look at the code sections if you haven't. And once the complaint comes in, we have to do according to what the code says. And okay.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm just a little
sir,
frustrated.
you need to get yourself an attorney and an architect to advise you on this project because you're in over your head. And so these are the issues that you're going to continue to face. Okay, let's call the vote on this matter. Regarding HA-2022-004576, 6939 Paschal Avenue, Reginald Corbin, City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed. City affirmed.
And Mr. Corbin, is unanimous vote, city affirmed, which means you've lost your appeal. Now, you may appeal our decision. And so if you need information as to how to do that, check in with the administrator's office and they can give you that information. Thank you very much for your participation. Have a good afternoon. Okay, thank you, everyone. And I guess we'll just need about 3 minutes of executive session after this. Mr. Wade, do we have anything else?
No, we don't.
Okay, that's the end of today's business. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you, Chair.
So if we could go into a breakout.